Greetings to everyone out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for November 25th, 2019, the night after Survivor Series, the final WWE event for the Chicago weekend. This coming Wednesday, AEW will be in Chicago for their episode of Dynamite. But we're here to talk about Raw. So let's go ahead and get started. Shout out to everybody in the chat room for watching live. I appreciate your viewership. And I also appreciate everyone watching, whether it's on demand or watching live. Thank you for your viewership. So we had the opening intro and pyro, and then we had a town hall meeting with everyone in the ring. Seth Rollins being the locker room leader. I wonder if this was a spoof on the alleged backstage meeting from Raw a few weeks ago where Seth Rollins apparently gave some sort of speech. I wonder if this was a spoof on that. Tony H with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Tony H. He says, "Whiny Seth is the best Seth. We can boo him legit." Good point there, Tony H. Seth Rollins started to talk, but he was immediately confronted with CM Punk chants right off the bat. Rollins addressed CM Punk by saying, "I tried to get him here, but he wants to sit at a studio in LA and talk about a change that he's too afraid to make himself." He admitted, yeah, NXT whooped Raw. They wiped the floor with Monday Night Raw at Survivor Series, and it broke his heart because he grew up loving Monday Night Raw, and then he put the blame on everybody out there that was surrounding the ring, the entire Raw locker room. He said everybody dropped the ball. Raw went from being the A show to the C show, and he says he wants to make Raw great again. He then started talking individually to various people. He said Randy Orton was the weak link at Survivor Series. And then he added, "I'm just being real." Randy Orton was having none of it. He just walked off and he did the jerk off motion as he was leaving. Rollins then confronted Charlotte, saying that she wasn't even the last person standing for Team Raw in the women's Survivor Series match. And then he added, "And you call yourself a Flair." She also walked off. Then we had Rollins rip it to AOPP, saying that we didn't need you guys last night and we sure as hell don't need you tonight. AOPP took off, of course, continuing the trend. Cleaver Colin Andrew with the $2 super chat says, "I like how no one mentioned the Viking Raiders win." Well, that did not fit with the narrative of this storyline. So yeah, no Viking Raiders on this entire show now that you bring them up. We had Rollins then go after poor Rey Mysterio, saying that Rey let all of us down. And Rollins mentioned that unlike Rey, he beat Brock Lesnar twice. And Rey could not even do it with a pipe and, I quote, "his stupid kid." At this point, everybody else left. They were sick and tired of Rollins. And then Kevin Owens decided to stick around. Rollins continued to talk. He said he loves Monday Night Raw. He breathes Raw. He wants it to be the best show on the planet. And it's not about him. However, Kevin Owens, on the other hand, is a lazy piece of crap that just shows up. And then Rollins said that Owens just wants to be like Rollins, but Kevin Owens can never be Seth Rollins. At this point, Owens decided enough's enough. He shut Rollins up and he gave him the Kevin Owens stunner. So it looks like the seeds have been planted with a Kevin Owens babyface run against a heel Seth Rollins. It definitely looks like we're seeing Owens versus Rollins with Rollins going heel. Ian Joplin, holy crap, with a $50 super chat. Thank you very much, Ian. I very much appreciate it. Ian says, just wanted to show love to the GOAT. Happy belated birthday. Thank you again, Ian. I really do appreciate it. Very cool of you to do that. Thank you so much. Moving on here, we had backstage with Seth Rollins saying that he was trying to do the right thing by giving the RAW speech, although he did not say RAW speech. He said Kevin Owens is going to learn things the hard way, and then issued a challenge to face Kevin Owens later on. We had footage of Rusev arriving to the arena, I think, arriving wherever he was arriving in Chicago, and a fan came up to him wanting an autograph for his kid, but then that autograph turned out to be a restraining order, and the fan was actually one of those guys that serves papers. So Lana gets the best of Rusev again. Then we had Bobby Lashley versus Titus O'Neil, which was quickly interrupted by Rusev. Rusev came out, screwed the whole restraining order thing. He attacked Lashley. They fought over by the announce table position. And then we had the police finally arrive just in time to save Bobby Lashley. They arrested Rusev. They put the handcuffs on him. But somehow Rusev managed to break free. And he basically tackled Lashley off the stage. And Lashley fell through some table or something. Then Rusev managed to tackle one of the supporting beams that were holding up part of the staging area, and the beam fell down onto Lashley. Crowd was popping huge for this, and then he started sticking out his tongue, Rusev did, and he's like yelling out, "I'm bad!" And Lana was freaking out. She was just completely out of her mind. When we came back from the commercial break, we had Lashley being stretchered out. Good angle here. I liked it. And Oofman Rules says in the chat room Lana was annoying. She's supposed to be annoying. She's a heel. I enjoyed this segment. I thought Rusev was great, screaming "I'm bad" and sticking out his tongue and being defiant. I thought this was a good angle. I know some of you don't like it, and it's actually winning worst storyline of the year in the 2019 NoDQ.com Year-End Awards, but I like it. I liked this angle here, and the crowd was into it. And this Chicago crowd, they were selective about things that they reacted to. There were times where they were not making much noise, but they were making noise for this segment. Just saying. We had AOPP. I guess I should just call them AOP from now on, since WWE is giving them push number 537. AOP quickly beat the former Raw Tag Team Champions, Curt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, with the Super Colliders, and then they hit this new finisher, which was a neck breaker / sit-down powerbomb combo. I don't think they have a name for it yet. Then we had Andrade defeat Akira Tozawa with the Hammerlock DDT. Not a whole lot to say about it, just a showcase match for Andrade against a very game Tozawa, by the way. Then we had Aleister Black in his room, his little dark room, talking about how Buddy Murphy knocked on his door last week, and Aleister found out that Murphy does in fact have a match on Raw, and Aleister said he is coming to collect what he is owed. Psycho Jet Black with a $5 super chat says, because of what happened tonight, will you still call them AOPP, and are they aligned with Seth Rollins? Also, what went wrong with EC3? EC3, I don't know what to tell you about him. You mention him every week, and it's become a running joke. I really don't know. That is one of life's mysteries, because EC3 has the physique to be a guy that Vince McMahon will push to the moon, and they haven't done it. And regarding AOP, I just mentioned I'm gonna go with AOP drop the second P for now until they get buried again, which who knows when that'll happen. I'll give it 2 months. And as far as Seth Rollins and AOP goes, I'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Thank you for that. And thank you again, Ian, for the very generous super chat earlier. I do appreciate it. We had Matt Hardy making his return to Monday Night Raw. So even Matt Hardy gets TV time over poor EC3. We had Matt Hardy versus Buddy Murphy. Pretty good match between these two, back and forth. Buddy countered the twist of fate and then hit 3 consecutive knees to Matt to pick up the victory. He cut a promo after the match saying he was, in fact, picking a fight with Aleister Black. This led to Aleister coming out. He attacked Buddy, hit him with a knee, and Buddy may have busted up his nose. It looked like he was bleeding from the knee. And then Buddy quickly took off, and I'm guessing we'll get that match at some point. Next up, we had Charlotte being interviewed. She said that she was never a team player, and she only did what she had to do because she was the only person qualified to lead Team Raw at Survivor Series. And she talked about how Asuka is still bitter about how Charlotte beat Asuka at WrestleMania 34 and ended her streak. Was it 34 or 33? I don't even remember at this point. I think it was 34, but I don't even know. I'm totally forgetting that whole storyline and that match to begin with. Yeah, it was 34. Thank you for that, Mike D. We had the OC versus Humberto. Well, we thought we were going to have AJ Styles versus Humberto, but the OC jumped Humberto before he could even get into the ring. They hit the Magic Killer to Humberto on the steel steps, and then Ricochet ran down to check on Humberto. AJ Styles then started making fun of Ricochet on the mic. Ricochet proceeded to challenge AJ Styles for United States Championship match. AJ said no. This led to the Viper, Randy Orton, coming out. Randy wanted a match with AJ. He said he was going to RKO AJ's ass through the canvas. AJ brought up how he already beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and this was WrestleMania 34. AJ said he has nothing left to prove against the guys like AJ and Ricochet that he has beaten already. This led to Drew McIntyre coming out saying that AJ has never beaten him. And Drew brought up how he pinned Walter at Survivor Series, which the crowd booed, of course. Then Drew proceeded to challenge AJ for a United States Championship match. But AJ said that he's still sore from Survivor Series. This led to Rey Mysterio coming out, and Mysterio was like, well, you're talking about being sore. I was just in the ring with Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, and I'm not complaining. And Mysterio said that he doesn't want people being cheated out of a U.S. title match. Ricochet then suggested, well, why don't we just do a 4-way match? Winner gets to face AJ for the U.S. title later on Raw. AJ at first was like, no, that's a terrible idea. But then the OC thought, hey, you know what? Maybe that's a cool idea. And then AJ reluctantly agreed to the match, and then he would face the winner. Oofman Rules with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Oofman. He says, was it just me or did Lawler act very heelish? Also, did you catch him saying Ric Flair was watching Charlotte from above at Survivor Series? I did catch that, and I will address that here in a few minutes. Thank you for the super chat, Oofman. So we had the 4-way match, which was pretty solid. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre had a nice sequence where they started chopping each other back and forth, and then Randy Orton was like, screw this, and went with the old thumb poke to the eye. Little bit of a dirty maneuver there, maybe something that Ric Flair or Roddy Piper might do, but of course Randy Orton is the veteran. Randy Orton hit the RKO to Drew McIntyre, but then the OC pulled Randy Orton out of the ring, so Randy Orton was not able to capitalize on the pinfall. Rey Mysterio then took advantage of Ricochet with an inside cradle and scored the victory to get the opportunity to face AJ Styles for the United States Championship. I like how they're all making matches and whatnot, but I still think like it would be good if we had an authority figure that would make the matches instead of everyone just coming out and doing whatever. I mean, what's stopping Total Anarchy? What's stopping anybody from coming out and making matches and putting themselves in title opportunities? So on one hand, I do like it because it's a little bit of a change of pace, but at the same time, I still think you need some kind of authority figure. But what do you guys think in the chat room? Do you think we need an authority figure back, or do you think it's good now the way it is, with guys just making their own matches and whatnot? So we had the AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio match. AJ was doing all the trash talking, and then we had Carl Anderson grab Rey's leg as he was going for the 619. The OC were then kicked out of the building. Mysterio went for another 619, but this time AJ Styles got knocked into the referee, and then Rey Mysterio went for the pin, but of course, no referee. The OC ran back down, attacked Rey Mysterio. Randy Orton then came out to make the save. Mysterio hit another 619, and then Randy Orton hit the RKO to AJ Styles, which led to Rey Mysterio going up top, hitting the big splash, and becoming your brand new United States champion. Big celebration. Dominic, Rey's son, came out. They celebrated. Dominic hoisted Rey on his shoulders, and all is right in the world of Rey Mysterio. Finally gets his big win after losing at Survivor Series. And Mr. Anderson says no authority figures. Let's see. Checking if there are any other comments here about that idea of authority figures coming back. Tic Tat Tat says no. Christopher Mace says no. And Harley says no more authority. Jeremy Dorset says the authority figure has been played out. So it looks like you guys prefer the way it is right now, where the wrestlers are just making their own matches. So there you go. We had Kevin Owens interviewed backstage about how, unlike Seth Rollins, he has known who he is his entire career. He said he has never tried to be something he's not and has never given in when others have tried to change him. He then referred to Seth Rollins as a whiny, insufferable prick, which is funny because I could have sworn that several years ago Brad Maddox got fired for using the word prick at a WWE live event. But here we are, 2019, and WWE's pushing the envelope again, so I guess it's okay. We had Charlotte versus Asuka, and as Uthman brought up earlier, Jerry Lawler with what I have to say is the cringe line of the night, where I'm not sure if he was joking or if he legitimately thought he died, but Jerry Lawler said that Ric Flair was looking down on Charlotte, and Vic Joseph was like, what the hell, basically. And he had to inform Jerry that Ric Flair is, in fact, still alive. Again, I don't know if Lawler was joking or if he's just senile. I don't know. But man, that was not Jerry Lawler's finest moment on Monday Night Raw. Let's just put it that way. Probably the most embarrassing Jerry Lawler moment since he fell asleep at Raw 25, although him and JR have denied that very much over the past several months, that they fell asleep during that show. So we had Charlotte versus Asuka, and Kairi Sane was chased out of the building by Charlotte. Eventually, Kairi made her way back to the ring. Charlotte threw her into the ring post, but was not effective enough. Kairi got back up, distracted the referee. Asuka used the green mist on Charlotte again, and somehow the referee did not see this. You know, Charlotte's only covered in this green mist all over her body, yet the referee is blind as a bat, and Asuka rolls up Charlotte and scores the pinfall victory. Uthman Rules with another $2 super chat says, Jerry answered with, you never know with him. Ouch. Yeah, that, again, not Jerry Lawler's best showing as far as I'm concerned on commentary. Darren Grog with a comment here. 24 minutes into Raw with my provider. Is it worth watching, Aaron? I would say there are some things worth watching. I would definitely check out the opening segment with the Seth Rollins Town Hall. Maybe check out the United States Championship match with AJ and Rey Mysterio. And then the main event stuff. But most of Raw I thought was fairly skippable. And Darren Frazier with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Darren. Says, is Charlotte a heel or a face? I believe she's a babyface right now, technically. I mean, it really wasn't a very well executed turn. She kind of just one day, I guess, when that whole storyline went down with Bayley going heel, Charlotte became a babyface by default. But they really didn't do a very good job of turning her. She just became one because of Bayley going heel, pretty much. But yeah, technically, I think she is a face. Then we had Eric Rowan beat some random guy who took a peek under Eric Rowan's cage bag that was covering the cage. There's some kind of animal or something in there. I don't know what it is and don't really care, quite frankly. And basically, Eric Rowan snapped, beat the crap out of the guy, and gave him two choke slams, and that was that. Then we had AJ Styles interviewed about his championship loss. He was pretty much at a loss for words. He was pointing the finger over at Anderson and Gallows, and eventually he just had two words, Randy Orton. And Mr. Anderson says, no Becky Lynch tonight, there goes the man. Well, no follow-up to Monday Night Raw. Maybe she shows up on NXT, but I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe, I guess, because she lost, they decided to keep her off television this week. Don't know what's going on with Becky Lynch, but yeah, I was not a fan of how that Survivor Series pay-per-view ended. We had Lana interviewed about Rusev. She said that he is a danger to society, and she said that WWE should fire him and send him back to Bulgaria. Then we had the main event, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Crowd kept chanting CM Punk during the match. They chanted right in the beginning, and then Seth Rollins put a rest hold on Kevin Owens, and they chanted it a second, or actually a third time, towards Rollins on this show. And pretty early in the match, Seth Rollins went for a steel chair, so the heel turn is definitely in motion here. Ken terminated by Google with a $10 super chat. Thank you for that, Ken. He says, Jerry Lawler should stay away from commentary. I'd rather have Jesse come back to commentary. By the way, Rift, I have to disagree with your Graves is a Heenan ripoff last night. He's more of a Jesse Ventura ripoff. Well, he's basically, we'll just say that Corey Graves is an 80s heel commentator ripoff. How about that? And thank you for that, Ken. I do appreciate it. Where the hell is Dio Madden, asks JJ. Good question. I guess he's really selling that Brock Lesnar beatdown. He's selling a beatdown better than pretty much anybody in wrestling because everybody else is back, the next day. But I guess since Dio is this frail little announcer, he's out of action for several weeks. Even though, of course, I'm just being goofy here. The guy is huge. Like, if it was Michael Cole or Vic Joseph taking it, yeah, he could take a few weeks off. But Dio Madden's no tiny person. He's a legit badass, The guy should be back within a week or two. Yeah, it just makes him look like a complete doof. The game is on 100 with a $5.01 super chat donation. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. He says, I could see Randy Orton versus AJ Styles at TLC Good that Charlotte got misted again. Rusev versus Lashley at TLC in a gimmick match. And then Seth Rollins versus AOP as a heel stable versus Kevin Owens. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a pretty solid prediction for the top matches at TLC on the Raw side. I could definitely see Randy Orton versus AJ, and we may end up seeing something with Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens, and maybe even a six-man match. Maybe Viking Raiders team up with KO, although we could just end up seeing that on Monday Night Raw. I definitely think we're going to see AOP versus Viking Raiders sooner than later. So anyways, back to the main event. Rollins kicked out of the pop-up powerbomb, and then Kevin Owens hit the KO stunner, and that's when AOP came out. They got in the ring. They stood in the middle of the ring staring down each guy. Kevin Owens was in one corner. Seth Rollins was in the opposite corner. And then Kevin Owens got up and started attacking one of the AOP guys. The other one went after KO. Both of them attacked KO. Crowd started chanting bullshit at this point. I'm not sure if they just didn't like the AOP attack or they wanted CM Punk. I don't know why they were reacting the way they were. Mike Nixon, did you hear the Pink rumors? What are your thoughts? What's going on with Pink? I mean, I know she does a lot of music stuff, but I don't know if she was doing anything wrestling related. Anyways, Seth Rollins got up and acted like he wanted to fight AOP, but then they just took off. They walked away, and then Rollins proceeded to hit 2 curb stops on Kevin Owens, further cementing what looks like a full-blown I keep wanting to say Seth Rollins heel turn on Kevin Owens. The crowd seemed more confused than anything, but I mean, watching it at home definitely looks like we're getting the Seth Rollins heel turn. And that was Monday Night Raw. So what did you guys think about the show? Seemed like a mixed bag on Twitter. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I definitely thought there were some strong segments. I did like the opening segment. I liked Rey Mysterio winning the United States Championship. I did like the Lana and Rusev stuff. So I thought there were some good things on the show, but it still dragged for me. It still felt like a very long show. And, you know, the stuff leading up to Mysterio winning the title, man, it took up basically the whole second hour of Raw, the AJ Styles US title storyline. So it's like it went on for so long. And yeah, the ending felt a little weird. I presume at some point Rollins is going to align with AOP, but I thought that maybe that could have been done a little bit better. I'm going to give the show a B-. I thought it was fairly good overall. People's WWE channel with a B+, Mr. Anderson with a B, CC Drink with a B-, Michael Wayne with a C, Joseph with a B-, Mike B with a C+, The Game is on 100 with a C+, Colin Andrew with a B, and Christopher Mace with a B-. And Kayfabe Candy S says, just getting my good night out there before the grades can. No grade here. Jeremy Dorset with a B-, and Brando with a B-, and Curtis Butler with a C. So again, seems like a pretty mixed bag from Monday Night Raw. I'm seeing a lot of C's and some B's in there. Anyways, that's all I got for Monday Night Raw. I will be back Wednesday night to discuss AEW Dynamite. Should be a very interesting show. Chris Jericho versus Scorpio Sky. We got another Pac versus is Adam Page. Yeah, Pac versus Adam Page. Should be an eventful event. Nice wordsmith there. Should be an eventful event. I'm getting tired. I gotta sign off for now. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your viewership and support. And I will see you all Wednesday night. Take care, everybody.